Let's see, what else we got on there on the list?
Make the fan shroud, bolt the valve covers, install the Monte Carlo bar, install the export brace, install distributor and coil, install the carb, lock tight the TV cable, reroute the TV cable, patch rust holes, fit fenders, install the transmission cooler lines, drill valve covers for the breathers, reinstall hood hinges, front brakes, rear brakes. Sorry. Finish install gas pedal, install fuel pump, plumbing, brake lines, change oil and exhaust.
So we're almost done, is that what you're saying?
Well, there's more things marked off than's on here.
Yep, good. What's going on, guys? I got some of the exhaust mocked up. I've never used one of these builder kits before, so it's kind of it's all brand new to me as far as making this stuff work. But I mean, it's pretty intuitive. It goes together kind of nice. I mean, you can see right here, the headers hang down kind of low, so I got these reducers. I probably already said this a half a dozen times, but we cut the collector flanges off and use these little cone reducers. Saves us some room and it keeps it from hitting the transmission. But you can see where I came and I kicked up, because the factory front subframe rail is right here, and I kind of kicked it up right about at the same place where this subframe stops, so that kind of affords us the most clearance we can get with a 2.5-inch system using Hooker aero chamber mufflers. I like those mufflers because they're not annoyingly loud. They're pretty mellow. They got a nice deep rumble to them, but when you really get down on the gas, then they really start to sound very good. So it's kind of a little bit of a best of both worlds. They don't drone like Flowmasters do and things like that, which I say that and then watch them, they will. But I have used these in the past and they do sound very good. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and try to get the passenger side exhaust mocked up just like the driver's side is, and then we'll start working on the tailpipes to go over the rear end, and that's going to be, that's going to be fun. So it's going to be tight, but I think we can do it. So let's get busy doing that. All right, guys, some of you may have noticed that I've been using this, looks like a caulk tube here. What this is this is actually called blade wax. I like using it on the bandsaw because, I mean, it provides some lubrication for when you're cutting, and it doesn't make nearly as much mess as like a coolant or like a spray oil or something like that, which, I mean, I have used it in the past, and I mean, the spray oil works fine. I prefer this because it's dry. It's a dry lubricant, let me say that. And to be honest with you, I bought this little saw, I don't know how many years ago. This is actually the blade that came with the saw, and it's lasted quite a long time just using this. This is a brand called Do-All, and it says it for machine tools. I just got a little piece of it left. But anyway, you just put it on like this. I'll show you. I want to put it on both sides of the blade. Just make sure that it, makes a couple of complete revolutions around. Yeah. Safety third, that's right. And then I take a little bit and put it on the blade. And one thing, I'll go ahead and turn this off. And one thing that I'd like to tell you guys about this stainless exhaust system, stainless is a tough material. It's not hard necessarily, it's just tough. So cut it slow, cut it steady, and don't force it. Whatever you do, don't force it, because you're going to wind up knocking teeth off your blade, or you're going to wind up breaking the blade. Now, I don't expect the blade to last forever. As a matter of fact, I went ahead and once I bought this stainless exhaust kit, I went ahead and bought a spare blade as well. This is a 14 tooth per inch blade off of Amazon. I mean, we'll see how it works. I figure if this one from Harbor Freight has lasted this long, one from Amazon will probably last that long too. But I went ahead and bought that just because I knew I was going to be doing stainless, and stainless is kind of tough on cutting tools. Anyway, like I said, slow, steady, don't force it, and your blades will last. So here we go again. Whoa. I guess it's probably time to get the marks aligned. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay. For anybody wondering, this is just a cheap DNA kit from Amazon. I think I paid, what, 150 bucks for it or something like that. I mean, for what you get, I think it's a really good deal. The tubing quality it's there. I like it. I don't know about the longevity of it, but I mean, it is a stainless grade of metal, so it should last a good long while. And the one thing also is that you'll want to get yourself some stainless welding wire too. Small. This is 023. You can weld it at low temperature, which is good, so you don't have to worry much about burn through. But you'll have to speed up the wire speed some. So anyway, you just have to get some of it and play around with it. But I mean, this is recommended for it, because I mean, there's nothing going to be worse looking than having a nice shiny exhaust system and then using mild steel wire, and every weld that you put on there winds up rusting. All right, well, we got the other side mimicked up. The stainless welding wire was a dud for me, at least. I mean, it's probably just ineptitude on my part. I'm just going to say that right out loud. It's probably not the equipment's fault. I did not have the correct 023, 024 tip for my MIG welder, so the smallest one I had was a 30. I used it, and every time that I tried to tack, well, I don't say every time, probably about every second or third time that I would make a tack, the wire would weld itself to the tip, and it just became more of an aggravation than anything. So I just went ahead and switched back to the regular mild steel wire, ground it down. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, so anyway, we got the exhaust mimicked from this side and that side the same, which I mean, the muffler is gone right now, but I'm going to have to do something different with the hangers for the mufflers. But that holds it in place for right now, just so I can get it get it all tacked in place. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and attempt to make my H pipe here, and I've got to cut this factory style parking brake tab off. We're not going to use it. I found out that it's just going to be too much stuff in the way right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the passenger side cable and route it over to the driver's side of the car, hook them into a splitter, and hook it up to the single parking brake cable coming out of the car, the handbrake, and that'll get that stuff out of the way, so I'll have room enough to do my H pipe and all that here. So let's go ahead and try that. All right, guys, I got my driver's side tailpipe mocked up here, and let's show you how it fits here. Sneak it up over here. Slip it into the muffler. I've got it marked where I want it to sit. And let me go get the wrench that I need. Here it is. Kind of clamp it where it'll somewhat stay in place. Uh-oh. Finally got some good hangers. The other ones that I had back here, they just weren't working very well. Oh, going the wrong way. That'll hold it right in place for now. So I've already cycled the suspension all the way up and drooped it all. Well, right now it's drooped all the way out, but I did take the shocks loose and I went up as far as the tires would allow us to go. And I figured if we've got that much suspension compression, we've got other things to worry about than the axle banging into the exhaust there. So, but we've got good clearance. So, and got our tailpipe kind of mocked up how I want it. It's just going to come and dump right behind the back wheels, just like that. I want to leave this part separate and put it on a clamp. So if I ever need to take the exhaust apart to pull the transmission or whatever we got to do, I'm kind of making the exhaust system modular. So we've got the mufflers and an extension pipe on that here, and these extensions will be welded to the mufflers. The tailpipes will be also welded to the mufflers, and the tailpipe extension, which would be this, is what I'd call it anyway, this is going to be on a clamp, so I won't have to be trying to fight to get all this mess over the axle. I can just pull this clamp right here off and snake the axle out. So then,
Snake the axle out?
I mean, yeah, snake the exhaust out, I'm sorry. So with this, then we've got this intermediate set up right here. Not sure if I think I already showed you guys this, but this is the intermediate pipe, comes off the headers. We're going to have band clamps up here, and I'm going to put the spring clamps on there as well to keep this stuff from sliding apart. See where it kicks up. H pipe. Basically, if I ever have to service the transmission, have to pull it out or anything like that, I should be able to pull all this stuff out in pieces without having to cut anything. So that'll be nice. And let me go over what we did with the tailpipes, and I'll show you how I'm going to mimic the other side. All right, now we got our tailpipe back out. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's going to work for the low performance application that we've got. If you'll notice on here, I've got the sections, each one marked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is denoting the muffler. So this is where it goes into the muffler, this is where it goes over the axle, this is where it comes out to the tailpipe extension. Now, what I did was I went ahead and I basically copied every piece for this, and what I'll wind up doing is basically making a mirror image of this tailpipe. Since I know this side works, this side was the one that was going to be the tightest with the most clearance issues. The passenger side had I don't want to say a lot more clearance, but it had more clearance than the driver's side does. So what I did was I just went ahead and started number 1. You can see that number 1, it's the same. And if you ever go to do this, go ahead and do yourself a favor and mark piece number 2 goes here. So then piece number 2 would be here, and it also denotes piece number 1. So you'll put these together, in whatever configuration they'll need to be. So that's what's good about working with a round tube. You can turn it any way you want to. So I mean, so I can take the exact same cuts as I made with this one and make an exact mirror image. So we got 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there we go. 4 goes right there. Oops, nope. That one goes there. That's a poor excuse for a 5, I know. So this is number 4. That's 3, 4. So you can see basically how this was made. I mean, it's just a bunch of bends that comes in the kit, and I'll tell you what, this is the first time that I've ever done it. And it was, I don't want to say it was easy. It was a little frustrating sometimes, but I mean, once I kind of got the hang of it a little bit, I mean, it started getting very easy. So I mean, if I can do it, you guys can do it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to cut now. I'm going to come in tomorrow and I'm going to weld all this stuff up, and then I'll turn around and then I'll make the mirror image of that. And hopefully we'll be done with the major parts of the exhaust system, so stay tuned. All right, so a trick that I learned actually on YouTube, matter of fact, of other people doing this, is when you're making cuts, use a zip tie. That way you can get a nice consistent mark around in case you can't clamp it in the bandsaw vise. That way you can cut it by hand, and you can use the zip tie to make yourself a mark, and then just take the zip tie off. But you always want to make sure that you put the zip tie, I don't know how to explain it, you want to make sure that you are making a square cut with the diameter of the tube. See, if you cut it like this, like at a right angle in relation to where you're cutting the tube, then you're going to have a nice round tube cut. If you cut it like this, let's just say if you put it like this right here and then attempt to make the cut, you're going to start ovaling the hole, and your pipe joints aren't going to match up at all. So just always make sure that whenever you're not like this, but more so like this, follow the contour of the tube, and then make your mark, and that way you'll keep a nice concentric circle there.
Booger welds are us. That's all right, it'll hold.
Yeah, he'll make it anyway.
Yeah, it might, but I think it'll be okay for right now.
You don't want to scratch it.
That's true.
You bump your head enough as it is.
I'm just gonna go weld that other thing up, and then I'll come over here and fiddle and pig it around with the fitment of this one. And
See?
yep.
Okay.
I started to say, you gotta protect your little knees.
Several of my buddies are welders, and I'm sure they probably cringe whenever I pick a welder up. Oh man, but I know enough to get what I need done, but it ain't gonna win no award for beauty. That's the way I like it. Just a little understated exhaust tip on there. Nothing fancy, no big chrome tips or anything like that. Just a simple little exhaust pipe poking out. I like that. Whew. All right, guys, we are done with the exhaust. Thank goodness. This was actually the very first time I've ever built a complete exhaust system from scratch, and other than the welds looking kind of, you know, amateurish, I mean, I'm very happy with it. It all fits in there good and solid. There's no shaking, no rattling. Everything's in there nice and tight. So we can start up here. You guys have always heard me talk about these comb reducers, and when I came up through here, we put a little bit of the sealant in there. I've seen other mechanics use an exhaust paste, and I figured, okay, well, that's the high temperature RTV, so it should do the same thing, because there's potential for leaks right here. After the reducer, we start off with the pipe. This was, I think these were the 45 degrees, the 45 degree pipes that I had, and I cut them and then cut a section out of that so I could kick the exhaust up. So these are the intermediate pipes. These were cut out of the 4-foot sections. I believe I got these two pieces from the other set of 45-degree bends. And then I used all of the rest of the bends, like the U bends and pieces left over from these 45s right here, to create my over the axle tailpipes. And I believe it's going to work. It was a bit of a struggle, but I mean, well, I cycled the suspension all the way up and down on that side, and everything seems to work. This side, I haven't really done it, but I don't think we're going to have any issues. If we didn't have any issues on that side, I don't think we're going to have any issues on this side either. So, but anyway, finally got my last exhaust clamp in today. So now the exhaust system is complete. I just wanted to say, anybody that's looking to buy one of these DNA kits, I did like it. It welded well enough for me. And you can see we did the complete exhaust system, true duals, front to back, with an H-pipe. And if you'll look here, we've got all of this left over, which is quite a bit, actually. I mean, I'm not saying I could build a complete other exhaust system with that, but I mean, it would get you started fairly well. So,
Or there's a lot left. If you mess up, you can.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you mess up, you got plenty extra to fix it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to drop the car down and start cleaning it out. There's a lot of mess in it, a lot of stuff that I've piled up on top of it. And in the next episode, you guys should be able to hear the engine run. I have fired the motor just on ether, and it ran for just like a split second, which made me feel good. And I only did that so I could make sure that the distributor was timed correctly. So we're going to spend the rest of today putting gas in it, getting power to the fuel pump, cleaning the car out, just little nitpickety things that you guys will see on the next episode. So I hope you guys will come back. Please like, please share, subscribe, do all the things that we ask you to do, please, because it really does help us out. It makes us keep going. So hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Go ahead.